Good evening, traders. Welcome to the CloudChartist weekly Ichimoku wrap-up. Going over a bunch of charts right now. We're starting off with CL, light sweet crude oil on the March contract. Very nice Ichimoku chart. We have pre-existing downtrend coming down and reversing. And trading up to the Tenkan-sen, not quite the Tenkan-sen. So it's important to see whether we can get above the Tenkan-sen here or not. Otherwise, it could be a Tenkan smackdown setup. One of my favorite trading setups to take, shorting the Tenkan-sen, looking for a rejection and the downtrend to continue. If we do get over the Tenkan-sen here, chances are good that we will head up towards the Kijun-sen above here. Maybe not all at once, but so it'll be important to see how the weekly closes next week. Moving on to the ES, we have a bullish chart, overall bullish over the cloud. We got a close over the Tenkan-sen, which is also bullish. I mentioned last week that I was looking for this 2025 13 level to act as resistance, and I was curious as to whether or not we could be able to get over it. We did get over it and closed over it. Still kind of in a range here, bull flagging. Chikou is free to travel higher, so it's important to see whether we can maintain the 2025 Tenkan-sen support on the week. It just looks like sideways consolidation for a potential break higher as long as we hold the 2025 13 level. Moving on to the Russell. Similar chart to the ES. Bullish over the cloud. We got a test of the cloud here. Closed over the Tenkan-sen, quite a bit over the Tenkan-sen. We did not make a new high yet, but it's possible that we could. We do have some issues in this chart, although, that we didn't have in the ES chart, which is that the cloud is descending in the future, and we have a cloud twist here. Sometimes price can trade through the cloud in twist areas. Also, flat clouds tend to attract price. So, but that's April, May. We have a way before we have to worry about that. So right now we're just looking at the 1151.80 level as support if we do trade lower, and the 1174.20 level before that also as support. If we do break into the cloud, we can look at the 1129.40 level as the Kijun-sen inside the cloud. Okay. Next we have the Dow YM futures. Looking similar to ES and TF, the Russell. Very bullish candle last week. Didn't quite make it to the Kijun-sen after this bearish candle and reversed and closed back over the Tenkan-sen. Just a small tail on the top, but so it looks like sideways to higher. Looking at 175.07 as support here. Cloud is rising. Overall chart is quite bullish. Pardon me. Moving on to the 30-year Treasury Bonds Ev. Very bearish week last week. Was great trading to the downside. We have the Tenkan-sen here as support if we do trade lower, 146.13. That will be when we decide whether or not the chart changes to bearish or becomes more bearish. If we lose this 146.13 level, then we can expect prices might trade down towards the 143.20 level below the Kijun-sen. Overall, though, the chart is fully bullish, and except for this fast time frame downtrend. If we do manage to hold the 146.13 Tenkan-sen, or wherever the Tenkan-sen opens this week, we can expect higher prices. So this week's close is important, and watch that 146.13 level. Next we have the 10-year Treasury ZN, similar to the ZB. We do have this factor of the flat cloud here, where the Chikou could come into the flat cloud and find support here, but that is lower than the Tenkan-sen. So we could lose the Tenkan-sen and then find support in this area before we get it down to 127, 105. We have a similar situation with the lower cloud here and also a very thin cloud here. I actually made a separate video about ZN, which I posted on Twitter. You can always refer to that if you want some more information about ZN. Moving on to the Nasdaq. Nasdaq has been a little bit weak relatively. I was concerned about the 4-hour close, but we will look at the weekly for now. We are in a downtrend. We were unable to make a higher high and a higher low on this candle. That is different from the other indexes that we looked at so far. But still bullish with a close over the Tenkan-sen, and everything is bullish over the cloud, rising cloud. Should be fine unless we lose this 41.8175 level. Should be good for bulls. Next up we have gold. Gold put in a very bearish candle last week and closed under the Tenkan-sen as the Chikou span was rejected from the Tenkan-sen in the cloud. So Chikou is very nice tool to have here. Made it into the cloud support and then hit this candle and also the Tenkan-sen and was rejected and failed to find support here and dropped out of the cloud. You notice that price followed the shape of the cloud and actually tested the top of the cloud here and was rejected and has continued to stay under the cloud. So this chart is bearish in pretty much every way, but we do have support at the Kijun-sen at 1226.10 for the moment. I've been looking for 1200 for a while. Seems a bit arbitrary, but I can't get bulled up on gold at the moment. Next up we have silver. Bearish last couple of weeks. Last week lost the Tenkan-sen and the Kijun-sen support, so currently we're under both. But we do have a potential bullish sign, which is the Tenkan-sen coming up and trying to make a bull cross over the Kijun-sen. So we'll see if that happens this week. But it's important if we do want some bullish progress for silver to get back over the Tenkan-sen, which is currently at 17 even. But bearish under the cloud, and the Chikou is also under everything. So fully bearish on silver weekly. Next up we have the dollar. I put this big view of the dollar back from 2001 because I thought the Fibonacci levels were important here. We're right at the 50% of this move from 2001 to the low in 08. So that might be why we're rejecting price here. I'll zoom into a closer view for you. Here's the 50% up here. Notice that we didn't quite get up there. We tried to get close to it and got rejected. So right now we're bull flagging under that 50% fib. Look to 91.84 to provide support. But overall, we should just trade in this range out unless we break over the 96.02 level, where, as I've been mentioning every week, very overbought on the RSI. Next up, we have the Nikkei. Nikkei has been a really excellent risk indicator for me. It's been leading a little bit. I've been watching the yen and the Nikkei to make decisions about buying the ES and selling the ZB, other risk-on, risk-off decisions. We have a bullish bounce off the flat Tenkan-sen here after this potential reversal candle last week. We didn't get the reversal. So far, this chart is fully bullish. Watch 17.358 level for support. That's about it for Nikkei. On to the yen, opposite of Nikkei generally. We have a bearish loss of the Tenkan-sen here, so, and a close under the Tenkan-sen support. So looks likely that we'll go lower, or that the Tenkan-sen will provide resistance at 0.08435. If we get a close over Tenkan-sen, then we can talk about potentially going back towards the Kijun-sen, but it seems unlikely at the moment. Moving on to the euro. After lots of selling, we put in this potential reversal candle, then did change trend to the upside, put in another potential reversal candle, and so far we are below this reversal candle, so technically we are in a downtrend. We have the Tenkan-sen going flat above, so that could attract price to the upside. That's at 118.32. So we'll see if we can reverse trend to the upside and trade towards this 118 level. If not, Tenkan-sen will probably tip down and downtrend will continue. Be interesting to see what the euro does this week. Moving on to coffee. Coffee, I noticed that many of my stock trading friends got all excited about coffee when it was doing this candle a few weeks ago, then got sorely rejected here and traded back down to the level that many bought it at. It's just been continuing to find support at 160 area, bottom of the cloud. Last week it got some buyers and tried to get bought up to the Tenkan-sen, didn't quite get there yet, so I'll be watching 171.65 as a potential reversal area for coffee. If it can get above 171.65, we could see higher prices towards the top of the cloud, or maybe towards the Kijun-sen if it's able to break out of the cloud. But one thing at a time. It's still neutral inside the cloud with resistance, serious resistance at 171.65. And next up, some stock charts. We have CMG. CMG had earnings last week, sold off quite a lot. CMG has also been a favorite risk indicator for me, so I'm not sure if it still will be given the big earnings sell. We'll see, but currently it's overall bullish, but the fact that it closed below the Tenkan-sen and the Kijun-sen is not particularly bullish. So bearish in the fast time frame, but bullish overall. Chikou needs to get back above the candles for higher prices, otherwise we could see trading down to this area around the 640 level, or if the Chikou loses the Tenkan-sen, next support for the Chikou is down here, but we will find the cloud before then as support. If we do sell all the way down to 620 area, we have rising cloud support that should propel the stock back up. Next up we have Apple. Apple was acting quite crazy last Friday. Couldn't really explain that action. But so we have a spinning top doji here after making a new high last week. Could get a pullback towards the Tenkan-sen at 112.57 if this is a reversal candle, but that needs to be confirmed. Otherwise, chart is fully bullish and not quite overbought yet. Next up we have blue chip, IBM. It's important to keep an eye on IBM as far as the general market health as far as I'm concerned. It seems like IBM was getting accumulated last week with a close over the Tenkan-sen here. Just barely over the Tenkan-sen, but over the Tenkan-sen nonetheless after lots of bearish action. So we'll see if IBM can hold this 156.43 level. If so, I expect it will continue to trade up towards this huge gap area that I didn't mark this week, but and which the gap area actually could reject price, so we'll see what happens there. And I believe that's it for this week. Thank you for watching, and my website is now live, not just a placeholder. It has some blog posts with some stuff that's been going on in my trading room. So if you're interested in checking that out, it's not a lot of stuff up there yet, but there's some stuff there. It's at CloudChartist.com. And if you're interested in my service, I have a $20 trial. You can sign up and try out the trading room for a week, see if you like it, see if it's for you. And that's about it. Good luck trading this week, and thanks for watching my video. Oh, and by the way, if you like my video, feel free to like it, give it a little thumbs up on YouTube. I think that helps me with YouTube, maybe causes me to have good relations, maybe less ads with them. I don't really know, but if you like it, let me know by giving me a little thumbs up. Anyway, thanks again. Have a good night.